Hi, my name's Jessica, and I'm a nurse practitioner certified in functional medicine, and I'm excited to talk to you today about some frequently asked questions in functional medicine. It was probably maybe 2 years or so ago that I started to hear about functional medicine, and to be honest, I was a little skeptical at first, but it has filled in so many missing pieces for me in healthcare, and I'm really excited to just kind of give you an overview and share some frequently asked questions today. A quick legal disclaimer, please take a minute and read through that. Obviously, talk with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health. So what is functional medicine in the first place? Functional medicine is a type of practice in medicine that looks at the body as a whole and seeks to optimize wellness as well as getting to the root cause of any disease processes. So often an example of a tree with roots or an iceberg is used, and I have an iceberg picture here to help us understand this. So you can see there are some things on the top like migraines, arthritis, different diagnoses that people might have, but under the surface could be multiple different things that are causing that. And that's what that functional medicine practitioner is going to do, try to dig a little deeper and find out if there's a deeper root that could be triggering some of the illnesses that we see often. For an example of this, a patient who has pain or stiffness in his hands in the morning, a primary care workup would probably involve labs to look for rheumatoid arthritis. If that is found, if he does have rheumatoid arthritis, he would probably be referred to a rheumatologist where different medications like anti-inflammatories or immunosuppressants would be used to help improve that patient's quality of life and decrease the pain symptoms. But the functional medicine provider is going to say, but why does he have this arthritic pain in the first place? Could there be something a little deeper that could be triggering it? And often an arthritic pain like that could be coming from the GI tract, actually, which is not something we typically think of, but there is something called increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut that can often trigger a lot of inflammatory conditions, and it could be as simple as some dietary changes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And so there is a missing piece there that we're not always looking for that deeper cause, and that's what functional medicine seeks to do. So when should you see a functional medicine provider? That's a little bit like asking when you should take your car to the shop. I mean, of course, if you have a problem, you want to take your car to the shop, and the same is true with functional medicine. If you're having some type of illness or, struggling in a certain area, especially if you feel like there's probably something going on under the surface that's not being addressed, that's a great time to see a functional medicine provider. But ideally, you would take your car to the shop just for a tune-up to help optimize function. And the same is true with functional medicine as well. There are certain tests that just aren't quite a part of a traditional medicine model yet, but they can often identify risk factors earlier and just help make sure that there's nothing that's being overlooked. So sick and healthy and everybody in between has the potential to benefit from a functional medicine appointment. So how do you get started? You've determined that this is something that you want to pursue. How do you even find a provider? So you can do a Google search or things like that. Obviously, word of mouth is a great way to find somebody because you can hear directly from somebody how their experience was with a provider. There are two educational bodies that I know of, the Institute for Functional Medicine and Functional Medicine University, and these both offer provider databases that you can search to find somebody in your area that has gone through their program. So I'll put links for their websites down in the notes, but definitely, there's lots of different ways to find a good provider, but I do want to caution you, a lot of different disciplines get into functional medicine, so before you see somebody, just make sure that they're able to offer the services as far as labs and things like that that you're looking for. So what should you expect from a visit with a functional medicine provider? First, there's probably going to be a really detailed health history, and this is just to provide a lot of information to, again, do that digging and try to get to the root cause of any illness and optimize your wellness. One thing I want to mention is allostatic load. This is something that we often look for as functional medicine providers. So you can see in the bucket there is lots of different types of stress that your body is exposed to on a daily basis, and your body has amazing ways to handle this stress and detoxification pathways that you can see there at the bottom of the bucket to kind of lower the load. But if that level in the bucket gets too high through either so much stress pouring in or problems with the detoxification pathways, or maybe a mixture of both, that overflow can look like chronic illness or disease, inflammatory conditions, things like that. So the provider is going to strategize with you ways to lower the level in that bucket, either through getting rid of different stressors or optimizing detoxification pathways, or again, a combination of both. Okay, how would seeing a functional medicine provider affect your relationship with your current healthcare providers? I have great hope that it could be a very complementary relationship. Again, that's going to depend on the individual patient and the individual providers, but functional medicine is certainly not a replacement for traditional medicine. Traditional medicine offers great resources and benefits, but I just see functional medicine as a crucial missing piece in healthcare right now. A lot of patients want to go a little deeper and they're not given the time or options. So again, I have hope that it could be very complementary and there could be a teamwork approach of working together for the best of the patient. What does it cost? This is a big question. There is so much variation, it's hard to give numbers, but I will say that often functional medicine services are not well covered by insurance yet. Sometimes they are, and I hope we're moving in that direction, but most practitioners at this point operate outside of the insurance model just so that they can provide the best care that they can for their patients. But sometimes you can use HSA money, so keep that in mind. And I'm sensitive to the fact that some people just may not be able to swing the cost of provider services at this point. So there's tons of information online that you can look up, and I plan to offer some free videos just to give people a place to start as well. So what are the downsides? What are the hurdles that you're going to have to overcome to see a functional medicine provider? We just talked about cost. That's definitely a hurdle. Access, it can be a hurdle at times. It's becoming more available, but sometimes it can be hard to find a provider, especially in your area. The other hurdle that I want to mention is that treatment is often not a quick fix. Usually to get to the root cause and really provide healing at a deeper level, it's going to take time and effort and commitment on the part of the patient. So yeah, it is an investment in the long-term benefit of health. So I hope I was able to just give you a broad overview of functional medicine and answer some frequently asked questions. But if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out at hello@ebenezerwellnessllc.com. I'll put a link to that in the notes, as well as a link to the website where you can get more information. My goal is to provide faith-based functional medicine resources for everyday life, things that are practical and sustainable, that just help meet you where you're at and help you along the way. So thanks so much for watching, and I pray God just richly blesses you each step of the way.